Super quick one. Market snipers, how are you doing, fine people? Beautiful sunny day. I'm going to be out and about. So what happened yesterday that was very key? Our first major leg in the upside of the USD JPY met its first core target. So we, a while ago, had been warning that dollar strength would be coming to the shock of everybody. We did that via our Dixie, calling the expected 89 run after the major drop. I'll quickly remind you of that. But let's keep it on the end for now. We warned about the inverted head and shoulders on many videos on the Dixie. That was macro. It was on 3-day charts, weekly charts, much like this. This is the weekly yen. Let's just be super clear. We said 136 run would come. And we said that while sub 110, when you're in the 107 range through to the 110.99 range. This is an incredibly fast moving breakout. Remember, weekly charts, big time frame. So it feels like forever, but actually when you look at the process of how this has moved, you could have been in at 109 over there. That date and time was the date of, let's get the cursor back. That date and time was in and around the 20th of September. And guess what? You're done in June. Now, some of you will go, my God, that's forever. That's forever. 9 months. This is one of the fastest, most efficient major moves, and it promises some overperformance after a period of some rest, I expect. Against the dollar, but it doesn't have to, but it's likely to have a little bit of progress decay. So in terms of that, you have moved on a structure that actually started, took all of 14, and in fact there was a bull market before that. It depends how far you want to go back, but let's just do this head and shoulder all over. That first impulse started in and around 13, and you broke only by our measure in 21. That is 8 years of gestation. Typically, in terms of how many, the period we allow, we typically use the geometry of gestation to tell you by when, as a long stop date, you should have performed. So technically, you could have had in and around 7 to 8 years. I'm not going to go into the drill down. That's in our materials. Go to themarketsniper.com. Go and book a call, by the way. And let me just highlight, in that period, so in a period of 8 years, you've literally done in 9 months. 9 months. So 8 years is 8 times 12, 96 months. Typically, this is what happens in fast moving breakout trades. You take only a fraction of the time. You've had 12 by 8, which is by all mathematics 96 months to do it in, and you've done it in 9, less than 10%. Now, sometimes, particularly on crypto, because it's a very egocentric and a younger audience, I share, I've made, $250,000 shorting, and it feels a bit braggy. I have mixed feelings about doing like P&L shares on things, but the problem is many people, you just need one rogue in the YouTube comments to say these guys don't trade, and it puts doubt in other people's minds. So occasionally we put something out of a singular nature, but what actually gives me the biggest kick is when community members are making money and are talking about the money they've made. And this isn't even a crypto environment. I'll show you one of our community members that's cared to comment inside our boards under the setup. Great trade. He's thanking the setup originator. Help turn my SCM, Scandinavian Capital Markets, link below, by the way, for the brokers. And you can get up to 100x leverage. But remember, leverage is dangerous. We have a real method with tight stops and entries that allow us to benefit from that leverage, and also to make sure we don't take bigger losses. To Randy's account up from 10K to 100K on this very one trade. So one instance, One trade that we have asserted that was high conviction, that is macro. So the keys that he did right is he listened to the community updates that were going on. The bigger time frames are your strongest and your greater probability. They don't happen by random. The bigger the time, the more there is a real flow of money that is ebbing and flowing in there. It's not a flick of a fat finger anywhere. This is sleep on it, watch it form many, many days, weeks, and years. One trade, he showed one trade, macro trade. He had a 10K account. How many of you, I get this question all the time, how much money do I need to start with you that I can make money? The truth of the matter is, don't focus on making money initially, focus on process. But it is our goal on a non-advisory basis to tell you about all the best macros, when you can execute them, and how HVF method, in other words, showing you what I am doing on that particular chart, where the entries, where the stops, where the risk rewards, because some of you might say 10 to 100 grand, that's a 10x. Didn't he blow money management? Wasn't he gambling his whole pot? Not necessarily at all, because the stops are super tight and the move is highly expansive. That is the great gift of HVF method. So the other gentleman, I forgot, meant to hide. There you go, hide that. Now you no longer know who it is. Great trade, helped turn my SEM, absolutely peers for you. They want to buy each other a beer, that's awesome. Real community, mature people working together, and a trade account gone from 10K to 100K. Now let me just tell you one or two small things. Put 50K of that into gold, silver, or 75K into gold, silver, and some Russian stocks, for example. We'll talk about other areas we think that are grossly undervalued, super investment to occur. Put 10K of cash in your system and fund another account for the next trade. You've got 2 blocks of 10K still left, and you've got now a holding in gold or silver that, in terms of my opinion, when we bridge from the failing system into the new system, by the way, everyone's still asking, where's reset? When's reset? Like Kaliningrad, separate little piece of Russia, Estonia and these nations cutting off the line. People are provoking the Russians, my friends. The debt market is failing. The one thing that is assured is a global war on system failure, max distraction. It's a standard strategy, Bretton Woods, World War II, etc., etc., etc. All of these things go, the globalist entities, and then they tell you, oh, it's just a fourth turning. It's a fourth turning. It's just how the cycle, the preordained cycle goes. No, it's orchestrators that are creating that, and that's how it happens. So a massive well done to community member XYZ. Well done, and thanks for the share. He came on board, always positive, gregarious, lovely guy. Came down to our events in Panama, actually gave us an amazing testimonial. Maybe the team will share that one, and just executed on what we've been talking about, and has made and closed 100K. Now there will be probably further opportunity for him to get in on a pullback, because we expect overperformance. So you're talking about someone who's done really well, is in the pound seat, and as I've already highlighted, after a bit of a rest potentially, because 136 is a key level and I expect it to have a little bit of pullback, you will continue to see overperformance upside. So we will get in again on smaller time frame structures. You will note, if we drop down to, say, the daily, how there were a number of opportunities for people who arrived late to get in on this trade. And on the falling wedge, we gave on this channel, gentlemen and lovely ladies, the key re-entry on a tiny HVF, supporting on a second interim, on a breakout of a falling wedge long. Just the risk reward on a fraction of this trade could have been optimized to an unbelievable level that you would have, let's just get that out of the way, long position, you could have optimized so well that you could have got a ridiculous risk reward that you too, late, I'm talking about, we were already at second interim with the run up between second interim to target there, and you could have run it up all the way to the same 136, and you could have done a partial close and still be at 37.92. You're talking about 38 on a fraction of the trade. Throw $1,000 potential loss at that, and it's $38,000 potential gain. You're already at nearly 40% of what James achieved, jumping in on the late stage. So, and that was a gift opportunity of a fractal of an HVF inside a falling wedge. Are you watching for these? No, you don't know. You're not used to doing this. It's not your game. You've got to learn. You've got to be around it. Do one thing very well in trading and you will win. Try, do something different every day and be the bumblebee that never settles on any flower and never gets any pollen, but is skipping around the whole time. You've got to get specialization. You don't have to be master of everything. You don't have to understand how a pivot point is constructed or a highly weighted moving average divergence strategy. You need to do one thing well. An HVF method, I will put it to you, is the best because risk reward ratios matter. The amount you can make can be determined by a very low risk and a high moving, particularly when you go up onto the bigger time frames. So why do we say it's not over for the Japanese yen, but it might pause? Well, for the simple reason that even the euro, that we don't rate particularly highly as a currency, as many of you will know, we still think it will have a failing against the Swiss franc, and it's continued to set that up, is also positively set up against the yen. In fact, against the yen, we think even the euro is going to go to 152, and we have structures for that. You want to know more about that, you're welcome to jump into our community and find out why we say. So this is the dollar index. Remember this, guys. Remember the month of December. It was around about here when the 7 trillion was being printed and it killed the dollar that we said we would expect a nice deep RL2, possibly 89s, but maybe in the 90s level. It came really deep, a little bit beyond our expectation, did that inverted head and shoulders, and the dollar long trade has given and given and given. This was the break of the inverted head and shoulders. Lots of people have theorized fundamentally that the dollar will surge in strength, but very few could give you the technical levels of entry. They were not the macro technicals, and they did not have the method to deliver on that. So the theorizing is one thing, but the timing and the entry and the stop and manufacturing a trade that occurs has to be done on the charts and shown on the key levels that are in existence, and that is where we specialize. So well done to our community member, well done on the yen making its first macro target where overperformance will be expected, but it may gestate for a while, and well done also, and I'll remind you of this little birdie in your ear. Many of you will be joining the community on the profits that come out of this baby. Let me just warn you, because if you think Japan can do currency destruction and it doesn't affect another highly westernized Asian nation that is putting Kias up next to Toyotas, that is putting Samsung TVs next to Sony and Panasonic TVs, let me just tell you, you're deeply mistaken. And this one is one we've been talking about. We've owned this trade. We even said the Bitcoin bull market on this, when it fake braked here, and it did a fake break. It tested us once. We were talking about it a lot in the run up to there, and then it did a fake break and a pullback in. That was the big print that occurred that pulled the dollar index down. We were already saying the best trade of the year, because that was as Bitcoin was due to have a run and had its run up to 64k, that the trade of the year would be of 2019, and we were saying that from 18, back end of 18, was going to be Bitcoin Korean won. Now Bitcoin Korean won actually did exceedingly well, but it didn't do exceedingly well because the Korean won was devaluing. It did exceedingly well because what we expected to happen on Bitcoin happened, and it happened across all currencies. And in actual fact, the Korean won pulled back relatively against the dollar, of course, because the dollar printed out of the world 7 trillion, not only for itself, but to export to the world. Now you are in the situation, and we remind you, and we will see you in our community and saying Korean won paid for my fees in this great reset. But let me warn you, there's going to be counterparty risks, there's going to be all sorts of risks. You need to truly take some of the cash and profits you make, and if you use this trade subsidizing other bad trades that burn up your profit, you will not make it. And I will remind you all that this is indeed a key level. All the relative highs that existed during this period, and let's just reduce the fatness there, all the relative highs since the 2008 have all been sub the 13,000 level. All been sub the 13,000 level. and you are at a key point trading 1304. And if you can't find a place to trade this, not an endorsement of any broker, SimpleFX, links below. Buy your gold, pure gold, below. Bullion Vault, $0 cost average every month, then switch it from the internet gold. You can reserve bars on there if you want, but then later you can sell out and purchase job locks from pure gold. All those links below. We don't put them there just to make everybody else does it. These are things I am using and building wealth for doing as I'm traveling along. This is a key seminal event. So you're getting a USD JPY video that we told you would go to 136. We told you as early as way backs when it was sub 110. In fact, our community members had it even before, when we even thought it might go the other way until we pivoted. You have right here in front of you, the rounding smile of a bottoming out, and you have a key level. The key level that could not be held or made since the 2008. The only time above 1300 was the 2008. I'm going to draw that line now. There it goes. And this is how the this above this level has proven. This tells me our overall dollar bias is spot on, and this is going to turn out a great trade. Look at that very sketchy high volatility spikes, even in the events of the great financial crisis. You are breaking that now as we speak on that rounded low. All the other highs bottomed, topped out, should I say, at 1280s, 1290s, 1290s. You are breaking into the 1304 level. This is rare air. This is rare air that you've not battled to make before. And we have told you that this will lose so much value. This will lose so much value in a super spike. And the Korean one is kind of skippy, harder to find as a pair. Hence why SimpleFX below. You can even put Bitcoin in there. You can put USDC as collateral, and you can trade the new crypto markets with crypto collateral. USDC sounds good to me personally. Trading the failure of Asian crisis. It's a great shame that this era is the era of the speculator. It's the people who understand money that will make money, not the nurses, not the doctors and engineers. They are being killed with inflation, and they are going to be battered into UBI peasantry, regardless of their current middle class status, through a draconian system that is overplaying its hand and bringing in Bolshevik communism. And you're now crossing into 1304 at a period when the yen has consistently weakened from 108, 109 through to that. So are you going to be my next list of heroes, killing it in the market? Hey, we tell you how it is. We want people to win. We want people to fight back. Do I have a position? Of course I do. Am I necessarily going to show you my P&L? Not necessarily at all. As I said, I have mixed feelings about it, but I love talking about community members that learned, adhered, stuck to process, and did it, because I feel I had a part in it through HVF method. Are you going to be one of those two? Are you going to be getting the updates? Well, we will see. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Remember, we survive. We are very, very unpopular with the Google algorithm. We need your help. Everyone to hit a like. This is someone who's here to try get you to build wealth when they want to take it away. That's what we're trying to do. You don't ever have to. No one's holding a gun. You don't ever have to join our community. It's a community of the willing. By the way, if you call, be nice. We're also interviewing you in a way. If you seem sketchy or a little bit too get rich quick, just because you saw 10K to 100K and you have the wrong personality, we will not mess our community up of awesome, classy, intelligent, respectful people by having someone super fly. And if you still think, hey, I don't trust you guys, don't worry, watch for free, stay there. Just give us a like and give us a share. This is your next Rainmaker trade. The Asian currencies will need to, particularly Western friendly, highly indebted ones with low growth rates such as Korea. This doesn't include necessarily the nations that aren't having inflation right now, like Vietnam and some of the others. The ones that have done proliferate, that have followed the Western models, the lepers in the leper colony that are actually in a different situation. They need to import commodities and export goods. They are going to get squeezed by the dollar strength. Okay, until I catch you next time, thank you so much. Enjoy. You have had a little bit of an uptake of a key level run by the USD JPY, and you've also been reminded of a cousin trade that I think will have to respond in devaluation too. So watch that Kospi as well, which we've also highlighted the relationship in the index. Spiller, what a thriller. You want to short the Kospi, you can do that. Don't do both. It's highly correlated trade in my view, and it is going, and I'm warning you, this is flight capital getting out of Korea, going back into America at a time of real fear. Flight capital, and this is hot money. This is hot money, and it creates momentum, and local domestic market will also panic and get out. Lots of scary fundamentals that we were sharing. Do I still have those tweets about year-on-year Korean imports? Got to check that one out. Follow me on the Market Sniper. I'm throwing out information on the trouble that is actually coming to Korea. So those of you that need a narrative, the fundamental narrative, let me just tell you, it's absolutely there. Follow us on at the Market Sniper in terms of what's going wrong in terms of their trade balances and all the other aspects, and you will get a great insight. It's totally free. You don't have to if you don't want to. Good luck. We'll see you on the other side. And a little flash alert. For those of you that are followers, we will be meeting up with a number of our community members. Quite possibly, I'm in the UK now, so if you're a follower and you just want to come and say hi, here's what you need to do. We're going to do a pub garden, probably in the St. Albans area. It's close to the M25, the A1M and major routes over there. I will have my community members with me who'll come and say hi. Some are even considering flying in from Amsterdam. We will allow a number of YouTube free views to come along and join and just have a beer in the garden with us and talk about reset, kick the tires with us and have a chat. You can meet some of the other guys that are already in the community. To get the venue, you need to do the following. To get the venue details, you need to do the following. We are planning Thursday next week, the 30th of June, by the way. Thursday, the 30th of June, and we'll grab a pub. You need to send us an email on support@themarketsniper to get the venue. Tell us your favorite YouTube channel and why. Why was that one particular YouTube your favorite? Your social media profile so that we can follow you back if you're at Twitter, or how you're following us in terms of social, and also to how long you have been following us. And then the final thing, so I'm going to have to recap this, is what one question, and you have 2 sentences maximum. Anybody who writes an essay, we will not read it. 2 sentences. So you've got to keep it short. What you most want to know about markets and these great events that are currently playing out. So let's go over that again. support@themarketsniper.com. Hi, I would like to be included to get the venue details mailed to me where Francis and his community will be meeting. Beautiful summer days in the UK in a garden. We'll have some lunch and an ale, and I'll be there plenty of hours. St. Albans will be the town. Which pub, and those details. Tell us your social profile. How you follow us, whether it's through Facebook, Twitter, etc., on the YouTube, your social profile, how long you've been following. So how and how long, what your favorite video is. So that's the third question. The fourth is your question that you would most like me to answer. What is the thing that's most on your mind? You've got to keep it in 2 sentences, and if you send us a good, honest, we're just trying to keep trolls out of the marketplace from just sucking up time. You fulfill those questions, we'll send you the venue, and Thursday the 30th next week, you can be sipping an ale with myself and some of the other guys in the back of the garden, chewing the fat about what is awaiting us all and what the great trades will be. Okay, thank you very much for that. We'll see you there. support@themarketsniper.com. Social profile, length of following, favorite video, and what is your primary question that you would want answered. Okay, till next time, I thank you very much, and don't forget to share this video. Bye for now.